and Donald Trump aimed at his primary rivals who refused to support him despite their pledge to back the Republican nominee.
They signed a pledge saying they will abide, saying they will back the candidate of the party. And now they sit back, and the pledge is out there, and the press doesn't even go after them on that. They broke their word. In my opinion, they should never be allowed to run for public office again, because what they did is disgraceful.
Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House and a Fox News contributor, joins us, and he supports Donald Trump for president. Mr. Speaker, thank you for being on the program today. I want to get your reaction to that, because Donald Trump is echoing the sentiment of many of his supporters, which are saying these people made a pledge to back the Republican nominee, and many have failed to do so, including others that are prominent within the party.
Well, you know, it's a very peculiar position. First of all, a lot of these guys made a big deal out of the pledge at the time. They wanted Trump to sign it. They were very worried he was going to go be a third-party candidate. So they signed it. So at a simple, basic level of honesty, you would assume they'd keep their word. But there's a deeper pattern developing here that I think is very troubling. Ever since 1912, we've had primaries, and we've had candidates who ran in primaries, and there's been a sense that the voters speak at the ballot box, and that the people they send to the convention don't go as free agents. They don't go because they're brilliant or they're an aristocracy. They go because they're picked by the voters. And when you start hearing people explain that their conscience, their judgment, is superior to 13.5 million Republicans, you kind of have to wonder what's going on. You know, we don't have super delegates like the Democrats, and yet some of these guys would turn every Republican into a super delegate in a way that I think breaks 100 years of history of having the people pick the nominee.
And just real quickly also, what about Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell? Many are saying, listen, they should be able to support the nominee. They've pretty much failed to do so thus far. What's your message to them?
No, I don't think that's right. I think both Ryan and McConnell have agreed to support Trump, and I think both of them have said that they will vote for Trump. I think they have some disagreements with him, but when you have a candidate who is doing as many new and different controversial things, just take his speech on foreign trade the other day, which I agree with, but nonetheless it's a very bold speech, and it breaks what has been a very long Republican tradition of more open markets by arguing that, in fact, in the modern world we're losing that particular game. And now that's a big change for some of these guys, and I think that part of it's there's going to be some natural turmoil, because Trump really is a very dramatic change agent, and some of the people he's changing have had other policies for 10, 15, 20 years. All
right, well, great point. But also, let's talk about somebody, a traditional Republican that had the backing of the establishment, Mitt Romney. He's making it clear there's nothing that Trump can do to win his vote. Take a listen.
If Donald Trump used a teleprompter and stayed on message, would that answer the questions Republican lawmakers have about him?
No. I think Mr. Trump has demonstrated who he is by virtue of what he said in the process to this point, and what he says from this point forward may paper over that. But I mean, my own view is that in thinking about who you want to lead the greatest nation in the history of the earth, the most important single characteristic is their character.
Your response?
Well, again, I mean, with all due respect to Governor Romney, 13.5 million Republicans picked Donald Trump. He beat 16 other candidates. I mean, Mitt Romney had lots of chance to get in and help Jeb Bush, or get in and help John Kasich, get in and help Ted Cruz. You know, there was a fair fight. 13.5 million Republicans, the largest number in history, larger than Romney, larger than George W. Bush, larger than Ronald Reagan, picked Donald Trump. And I think at some point as a party, you need to decide to have some respect for the voters, and you have to pay some respect to Trump's ability that as a first-time candidate, he could beat 16 other people, many of whom were very good candidates.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for your time.
Good to be with you.